I feel like it's going to severely bother some of you that my chair is crooked, but this, this is what it is. Hi, I'm Christine. Welcome to Nomad Unknown, or welcome back if you're a regular viewer. Thank you so much for being here. I'm coming to you from present day. It is currently May 31st, 2023. I have to specify the year because I am that far behind on videos. So the series that we would have just finished up on my channel is my Alaska series. I didn't shoot as much in Alaska as I should have. And we're going to talk a little bit about what happened with all of that and what's been going on with me, what's been going on with the channel, and what's going to be happening. So all very good stuff. So yeah, I worked the ski season in Utah, and I think I was in a place where I was so lonely after having lived on the road and wintered pretty isolated, and being around people really does give me energy, and I really fell very much into wanting to be around people and making concessions about what my favorite activities are or what my personal goals are, or what was this? Pine cone. Just so that I could be around people. I'm going to outline a little bit of the journey that I've been on over the last year and how I sort of came to the conclusion that that's what I was doing. So yeah, nanny, ski season, Alaska, that's where we are in the videos. After Alaska, I drove back down the Alcan. This next time I took a different route. I took the Cassiar Highway, and that was beautiful. I saw some black bears, but the road conditions were just like amazing. I think they had just finished up like a $20 million road restoration project. So like, yeah, it was smooth sailing. And then I stopped by Whistler, drove through Vancouver, came down into the US, swung by Crater Lake National Park, like really just swung by, saw it, and then I parked my car in San Francisco, got on a plane to Copenhagen, was in Copenhagen for all of 5 hours, but did get to explore it a little bit, and then I went to Austria and met my friend Rachel, who I worked with in Utah over the ski season. And while we were there in Utah, we had planned a month-long interrail trip in Europe that was primarily focused on visiting the Alps. We both very much enjoy outdoor recreation, and so as I was visiting Europe, I wanted to make that a primary focus. I made the conscious decision to not make videos of that trip. I was already kind of struggling with guilt about not making videos or enough videos in Alaska, and had really just come to, I don't want to say it was burnout, I want to say it was more like insecurity or imposter syndrome, because I actually very much enjoy the process of making videos. I struggle with it a lot when I'm around other people. When I'm doing solo stuff like this, I can really get into the creative flow of it, but when I'm with other people, it's always really important to me to give them my focus and give them my energy, and my creative work suffers as a result of that. I hope I can at some point find a balance of it. Even when people are really supportive of me making the videos, it's still something that's challenging for me. So there are no videos of Europe, but after I got back from Europe, I guess it was October, late October, I had already been hired on for a job in Hawaii, and my start date of that was like mid-November. So I flew back to San Francisco. I visited family in Southern California, in Utah, packed up my things, and flew from Salt Lake City to Maui. I spent about 5 days on Maui, just kind of having fun because, you know, there's not enough vacation in my life already. And then I hopped on a ferry, and actually the island I worked on was a private island called Lanai. And there is a ferry that takes about 45 minutes from Maui to Lanai. And so I did that, and then I moved into a luxury resort for about 100 days while I worked there over the winter. And I didn't stay there as long as I had anticipated staying there, but ultimately it just wasn't the right long-term fit for me. I'm grateful for the experience that I had, and I learned quite a bit. But I ended up taking off from there about 100 days after getting there. So it was mid-February. I flew to Costa Rica, a place I visited a couple times before, but I had some friends that I had worked up in Alaska with, and they were vacationing, or traveling, I should say, traveling in Costa Rica. And so I went and linked up with them. And after spending a couple weeks in Costa Rica, I went to Panama, Colombia, spent about 5 or 6 weeks in Ecuador, and then flew back to Salt Lake City. Spent some time in Utah and helped out doing some family stuff, some moving and things like that. Got to go to my grandma's 85th birthday party, which I haven't been to a family party like that in definitely pre-COVID, I think was when I last went. So yeah, it's been too long. And yeah, and then after all that, I started a road trip northbound because this summer I'm working in Mount Rainier National Park for a concessionaire at Sunrise Day Lodge. So if you're up in the area, come and say hi. I'll be working there full time and living on the mountain. And that assignment actually starts tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited. I'm at this beautiful dispersed campsite. I mean, this is probably one of the best campsites I've ever been at, and it's a dispersed campsite. So it's free to stay here. You just need to have a Discover Pass, which is $35 annually for the state of Washington. And yeah, yesterday literally didn't see a single other human being. The only thing I saw was a fighter jet, which kind of flew pretty low past here. But other than that, I did not see or hear anyone. This morning I woke up and there was an elk in the road. So yes, I'm sorry. I could go on and on because I'm here. I'm living out of the back of my Subaru. I've been doing that during my road trip, and I can't tell you how much I realized that I missed the American West. Like, it is just so special and so dear to me, and I don't feel like there are many places in the world where you can get this. You can find this. And I am so grateful for the Wilderness Act and protecting these public lands, and that I can come out here and do something like this. It's very special. So now I've recapped where I've been physically, where I've been mentally. I did make some videos in Hawaii, so those will be coming up on my channel next in the series. And then I shot some content in South America, not a ton. I was trying some new things. I've been getting to know myself a little bit, been, you know, for those of you that have been around in 2020, actually in 2019, I separated from a long-term relationship. It was marriage. We got divorced in early 2020 when the world was shut down. I was in that relationship for 14 years, and I didn't really know myself as an adult human. And so these past couple of years, I've really been getting to know that. And to walk through that with you a little bit, I started This Girl Hikes 7 years ago. And that was in and of itself a journey of getting to know my own strength, my own power, and my own worth, getting to know that I am capable of being an outdoors person and learning to do things on my own. That still wasn't the complete picture of my life, but it was so incredible. I mean, I just fell head over heels in love with it. And it's still very much part of my identity, but I needed to try some other things too. And so over a year ago, I made the decision to change the name of my channel from This Girl Hikes to Nomad Unknown. And that change in and of itself kind of encapsulates what this journey I've been on has been. I went from something that's very dialed in and very specific identifier of This Girl Hikes. That's who she is, that's what she does. You know, it's like you know what to expect, and that is this person's identity. For me, that was my identity. And then it went to Nomad Unknown. You don't know where she is. You don't know who this person is. It's anonymous, nomadic. It's very open. That's the journey I went on through myself, was to strip away a lot of my identity. And I had a lot of different influences come in with travel and living in close quarters with other people, and going through phases of feeling very lonely and latching on to communities or kind of influences from other people. And as an example, so it's not so in the air what I'm talking about, when I was traveling in South America, I did very much the things that people do, like for example, when they travel in Colombia. It never really felt like a bucket list destination for me. I'm grateful for the time and experience that I had there, but going out to a club in Colombia, something I did more than one time, that's not me. It's something I can get along with because I'm an easygoing person for the most part, and I like to try different experiences, but that's not me. It doesn't really fulfill me. It doesn't drive me and into pursuit to be better, or it's not a memory in my life that I'm going to look back on with great reverence. And there are other experiences like that as well, but getting out there and that kind of solo international travel that I did when I was in Central and South America, wow. I mean, they say solo travel, you'll get to know yourself. And to some extent, that's what I did in the summer of 2020 when I was living out of my car. I got to know myself. But in this past year, in 2023, spring of 2023, in Central and South America, I got to know some other things. And yeah, the experience was completely worthwhile for that alone. But one of the things that I really learned was that you don't feel any less lonely being in the company of others and not being your authentic self. Doubting whether or not you fit in, if your heart or head are in the same place as these other people. It's really the companionship of like-minded people that is super valuable. That being said, I do think it's really important to expose oneself to a variety of different people, and so travel is really fantastic in that way. But the thing that I learned was that what really drives me are travel experiences based in the outdoors, and usually with some degree of discomfort or challenge, but not always. And so, yeah, I am so excited to be back here in the American West, where I feel like that is a really good place for me to be doing that. And I'm going to be in this Pacific Northwest, Mount Rainier, until the end of September, until the fall. And I'm just looking forward to making the most of the summer and making memories and making videos. And they probably won't come up and I won't share them for a little while, just because I do have a little bit of a backlog. As tempting as it is to sort of skip ahead and really start working on these videos, there's also a very specific reason why I hesitate in doing that. And now I'm going to talk about what's next, what's coming up. So it's a big one. I'm basically going to the moon. So, kind of. I was hired for October 2023 through February 2024, which is North American winter, but the austral summer, to actually work at McMurdo Research Station and help support the research station. This particular research station is actually in Antarctica. Yes, it's in Antarctica. It's not a hotel, but I'll be there helping support the needs of the research station. And it's a big decision. I've been offered the job. There are still multiple steps in the vetting process, including like medical, dental, things like that. Essentially, they want to make sure that healthy people are arriving on the ice, because if something goes wrong, there are doctors, there is like a hospital facility, but you know, resources are limited. Also, I have to decide for myself if that's something that I am ready for or that I really want. I have mixed feelings about it right now, I'll be honest. Having essentially spent the last year off of the main continent of North America, so I was way up in Alaska, I was in Hawaii, I've been in Europe and Central and South America. I basically haven't been here for a year. It's really hard for me to feel like I'm ready to leave again for 5 months right now. But I'm gonna make the most of the summer and just, you know, see how that goes and pursue as if it is my full intention to go to Antarctica, and see where that takes me. Yeah. So if that is the journey that I take, then I won't have the internet capabilities to be uploading videos. There is very limited sort of like dial-up internet available, but certainly not enough bandwidth to upload anything. McMurdo Station is located closer to New Zealand, so that part of the Antarctic continent, closer to New Zealand. So my entrance and exit to and from Antarctica will be via Christchurch, and that will give me a 1-year visa in New Zealand. So potentially post Antarctica, there'll be some travel in New Zealand, and then depending on finances and things like that, there is a possibility that 2024 might be the year that I decide to do the PCT, that I recommit to the idea of doing it, because it's still something that I'm very excited about, very much know that I will do. It's just like deciding to take the opportunity to do that. And I'm playing around with the idea of northbound or southbound. The appeal of going northbound is that it's the more popular route. I feel like there's more information, more resources available. The appeal of going southbound for me is that my family my family is in Southern California, and so I will be like traveling closer to them. So towards the end of the trip, where maybe there's a bit of burnout or something like that, I'll have those resources available to me and those relationships, and they'll be able to come out and support me. And so that sounds appealing. I would love for you to weigh in and kind of give your opinion, northbound, southbound. This is not an announcement. I still have to apply for a permit and really commit to the idea. Like I said, part of that is going to be finances. I know I have to have at least $5,000 budgeted exclusively for the hike. And then the other part of it is how winter plays out here in North America next year. This year was an epic year for the Sierra, and if I had been planning on doing it this year, I don't know for sure if I would have still committed to that idea or if I would have postponed it. I know people are out there doing it. I haven't really had the time to be watching much, but if you know of any channels that people are actively vlogging the PCT, I hope that I'll have some Wi-Fi and some time to watch some of that coming up. So you can also leave that in the comments, because I would love to kind of see what the experience was through the Sierra this year. I'm so curious about that. But yeah, it's, looking like I'm gonna keep traveling for a bit. As I've been here and been living out of my car for the past 5 days or so, I've definitely had a couple of changes since my last big car setup video. Number one is that I don't have my my memory foam mattress anymore. I do miss it, but I'm gonna try living without it for a bit, adapting to some other changes. But my idea is to really streamline the inside and have a small volume of things that are all very functional, all very essential, very clean aesthetic, which I think I was decent enough with to begin with, but I just want to try some different configurations of things. And I actually have a number of ideas of things that I want to fabricate for different kinds of storage. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to hopefully be able to work on that at some point. I don't know when I'm gonna get that done, but yeah, I have it all written down and diagrams drawn up and stuff like that. So that should be pretty good. But yeah, what else? Yeah, we're gonna go into some Hawaii videos and then South America, and then you'll be catching up with me here in Washington. So I appreciate you being here. Yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.